Who would win in a fight between Archie Comics, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Paper Mario? I'm Ink, and this is Crossover Colosseum, the show where only the best will win and the fights are chosen by you. Let's get into it. 3,000 years into Earth's future, humanity found itself under attack by an alien race called the Zorda. This beholder-like race of tentacled eyeball aliens came to Earth to offer a peaceful alliance with the residents of the planet. They sent an ambassador down to the planet to talk with the world's best and brightest. Unfortunately, even though this ambassador came in peace, he was left in pieces as he was quickly captured and experimented on and dissected by scientists like Dr. Ivan Quintobor, which I'm just now realizing is Robotnik spelled backwards. Huh, go figure. Anyway, the Zorda didn't take kindly to their species being given the old trunk special, and so they retaliated on humanity with a devastating gene bomb. This weapon of mass destruction was carefully designed to eradicate life from a planet, devolving its targets into oblivion. However, things didn't go exactly according to plan. While a lot of life certainly was wiped out, different groups of people were able to hold on to their lives even through the cataclysmic bomb itself and the natural disasters that followed. And this era of disaster became known as the Age of Fury. So in the face of this catastrophe brought on by mankind's arrogance, the Earth was slowly able to rebuild itself. However, its new population looked much different than it did before the Age of Fury. While some humans survived, the bomb caused many animal species to anthropomorphize and gain unprecedented amounts of intelligence, leading to a world shared by humankind and fauna that had now become human-like. In this new ecosystem, the world was renamed Mobius, and it was populated by human-like foxes, echidnas, and of course, hedgehogs. One of these creatures was named Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog, or as his friends came to know him, Sonic the Hedgehog, a name that much better reflects his love of running fast and sounds much less like a disease. Sonic is a free-willed, golden-hearted hedgehog who loves nothing more than doing what's right and perfecting his signature chili recipe, chili a la Sonic. Side note, I actually made this recipe and it is fantastic. Perhaps to hide the information that his real name is Ogilvy from the rest of the world, Sonic lived in a secluded woodland base, located in the Great Forest next to the Grand Kingdom of Mobotropolis. Now, I know what you're thinking. Surely after humanity doomed the entire planet and fundamentally changed the entire planet's ecosystem due to their hubris, everybody lived in peace and practiced self-restraint from any archaic practices like taking over an entire kingdom with an army of deadly robots and then trying to build a massive superweapon. To which I would say, wow, that is an incredibly specific and relevant example that segues perfectly into my next paragraph. Dr. Ivo Robotnik, or as he's more commonly known, Dr. Eggman, was a ruthless, power-hungry tyrant who was set on overtaking the world. But even through his armies of robots, deadly inventions, and a temper particularly sensitive to dad jokes, Sonic the Hedgehog always found a way to stop his exploits and save the world time and time again. So much so, in fact, that he inspired a group of freedom fighters to form and assist Sonic in his efforts to keep the world a free and fun place. The majority of Archie Comics' story of Sonic the Hedgehog revolves around the adventures of these freedom fighters, and their fights against humanity's greatest threats. So if Sonic is this tyrant-busting, whip-making, chili-tasting legend, then that begs the question, what can he actually do? Apart from the obvious answer of run fast, to get a detailed picture of Sonic's capabilities, we need a small history lesson on Archie Comics. You see, while Sonic is always represented as a single character in the series, the comic itself went through 3 distinct phases with drastically different power levels, abilities, and tones. These different eras of the comic are so different, in fact, that their versions of Sonic may as well be 3 different characters entirely. But for the purposes of today's video, we're going to be blending all 3 into a single character. Starting with the first era. This era of Archie Sonic felt more like a random Archie comic that happened to feature Sonic the Hedgehog than any deliberate portrayal of the character. This is a version of the character I like to call Gag Sonic, and he was written with almost no detail being given to the source material. Gag Sonic is all about doing whatever it takes to make a joke and basically never takes himself seriously. One minute he'll be fat-shaming Eggman, the next he'll be publishing a chili recipe, and then after that he'll be boxing his own shadow? That doesn't even make any sense, but that's kind of the point. This era of Sonic has almost zero internal consistency or attention to its plot. Everything is in service of Sonic either saying, "Hey, look how fat Eggman is," or "Hey, look how fast I am, isn't that funny?" But to be fair, this version of Sonic really is hilariously fast. The peak of his speed probably comes from an early issue where he picks up a ball of water and threw it at a robot bird at nearly 400 million times the speed of light. If he were to do this in our own world, it would just destroy the planet. But in Sonic's world, it kind of just splashes the bird really hard. Regardless of the effect of the water though, this is an incredible display of speed that requires Sonic to react, aim, and make complex movements and attack in an absurdly short amount of time. This brings us to our second era of Sonic the Hedgehog, an iteration I affectionately call Tryhard Sonic, or Sonic the Hedgehog. Take your pick. Gradually, a lot of the camp and goofiness left the comic, and Archie Comics decided to make Sonic more story-driven. To do this, they added more and more complicated lore that was just so freaking weird. Or, as Archie put it themselves, for the first time in his life, Sonic is devoid of humor. For the first time in his life, Sonic truly understands the meaning of war. And that statement alone perfectly summarizes the tone of this entire era. Suddenly Sonic's stakes changed from, I need to hit a robot bird and make a dad joke, to everybody that I love's been turned into a robot and it's all my fault. The peak of Sonic's speed here came after everybody that Sonic loves had been roboticized, and Sonic was getting the ever-living snot beat out of him by a robot designed specifically to surpass his limits and take him out once and for all. And it was at this lowest point, when all of his friends and family were gone, that Sonic decided he needed to break all limits and go faster than he'd ever gone before. So he ran across the entirety of his country like a supercharged Forrest Gump to unleash a spin dash at his maximum speed, clocking in at over 4,200 times the speed of sound. This maneuver must have really tired him out, because it was his last truly impressive display of speed in his base form, including in his third and final iteration. You see, after Tryhard Sonic had been running for several years, Sega came in and said, oh my gosh, I hate everything here. Why are our echidnas Nazis? Why does Sonic carry dirt in his shoe just in case of emergencies? And why is everybody drawing Sonic's feet so much? This entire series is a mistake. And so this reaction, combined with a legal battle with Ken Penders, led to a massive reboot of the entire Archie Sonic continuity, and a series of strict guidelines put in place to make sure that Archie Sonic was nearly identical to his gaming counterpart. But while Sonic's speed has drastically shifted over the years, one thing that's remained constant is his tried and true battle strategy that can be summed up in 3 little words: taunt and roll. Sonic's strategy really has always been to just make fun of an enemy and then spin dash into them. And if that fails, do it again and again and again until it finally does work. And while it is admittedly a really simple strategy, it's also incredibly effective. So much so that when Sonic beat a robot specifically designed to destroy him, it drove Dr. Eggman clinically insane. He couldn't figure out why a tiny blue hedgehog was able to beat one of the smartest minds in existence over and over and over. It broke Eggman's mind so much that he was locked away in a padded room with a straitjacket as he mumbled nonsense to himself, eventually coming to the irrational conclusion that fate itself was conspiring to let Sonic and his friends win. But Sonic and his freedom fighters just seemed to have this effect on people. They caused a similar reaction from a godlike mammoth who had been canonically cursed with plot-induced stupidity to make really awful decisions that cause him to lose. He looked at all of his godlike power losing to a roided-out fox with 2 tails, and misattributed all of those losses to fate bending itself to Sonic's will. But it's not hard to see why multiple characters have made this silly mistake. Sonic has pulled off some absurd things over the years. He isn't harmed when he's thrown through buildings. He sent this giant anti-Sonic robot flying hard enough to demolish a castle wall. He can create tornadoes just by running, phase through objects, and even turn invisible through his sheer speed. He can also enhance his power even further by harnessing the power of chaos, which is a magical essence that exists throughout the universe. By harnessing this power with the help of 7 Chaos Emeralds, Sonic can transform into Super Sonic. In this form, Sonic gets an unspecified boost to his speed and a drastic boost to his durability, giving him virtual invincibility to everything in his universe. And when the supersonic form was separated from Sonic himself, it carved up the surfaces of the moon and even threatened to destroy it entirely, although notably he never actually destroyed the moon, just threatened it. His ultimate ability though is the mighty Chaos Control. Sonic's used this burst of chaos energy to travel short distances backward in time, teleport the colossal space colony Ark, and even used it to affect the rewriting of the entire multiverse. Yeah, so get this. Eggman created a machine capable of releasing a powerful effect called the Super Genesis Wave. This thing was like a massive software patch to rewrite the entire multiverse, and coincidentally get rid of Ken Penders' creations due to that lawsuit I mentioned. But with the help of Chaos Control and a little help from Mega Man, Sonic was able to get in there and essentially change a couple lines of this code to keep his world intact, turn his dog into an anthropomorphic person who also might be his brother, and kill all of Knuckles' kin. Wow, low blow, Sonic. And while this kind of rewriting of the multiverse definitely isn't something that Sonic can do at will without the aid of a Super Genesis Wave, It's a perfect example of the kind of dedication that Sonic puts towards saving his world, and his precision with powerful chaos energy. But Emeralds and Supersonic aren't the only thing with chaos in their essence. The world of Mobius is populated by golden rings that embody the power of chaos itself. By using the power of these rings, Sonic can grant minor wishes like healing injuries, knocking enemies backwards, or de-roboticizing someone, which should have come in handy when Mega Man's arch-nemesis Dr. Wily and Dr. Eggman turn a bunch of Sonic and his friends into androids, but the wishes have a less than stellar success rate here. Although, to be honest, I don't know why Sonic would not want to be an awesome robot named Sonic Man. He had a sweet Majin Buu forehead symbol and the ability to resist time stops, but I guess resisting being stopped in time isn't worth it to the Blue Blur if he can't eat his favorite chili dogs anymore. So, you win some, you lose some. Rings can do much more than just granting wishes, though. By collecting a number of rings, or harnessing the pure chaos energy of the Super Emerald, Sonic can go full-on Bruce Banner, and can summon forth a powerful, element-bending personality called Ultrasonic. While not much is known about this mysterious form, he's clearly extremely fast. He was able to run around the planet in just a couple of seconds. He's also the perfect candidate to call on when the Fire Nation attacks, as he's able to exert limited control over the 4 elements. Sonic is much more serious and focused when in this form, and refers to it almost like a separate entity entirely. Rather than spin dashing into his foe over and over, Ultrasonic finally adapts his strategy and sends his targets to the ultimate timeout corner. This pocket dimension, called the Zone of Silence, radiates pure chaos energy, and it corrupts and kills nearly anyone who enters it. This ultimate ability is admittedly a bit of a Hail Mary though, as it also drains Sonic of his energy entirely, causing him to revert to an exhausted version of his base form. Now, I know this was a lot to take in, but Archie Comics' version of Sonic the Hedgehog has been running for nearly 25 years, and it's been a wild, wild ride. Through all of the feat drawings and chili recipes, something about this character has really stuck with fans over the years. And at the end of the day, Sonic is just a free-spirited guy who wants to live fast and do the right thing. And it's this attitude, combined with the bizarre and campy world that he comes from, that's helped make Sonic a mainstay in our culture and at the forefront of versus debating. With that said, let's see how he stacks up against his opponent for today, Paper Mario. The faraway land of the Mushroom Kingdom is no stranger to adversity. Whether that be kidnapping the princess, or kidnapping the princess, the Mushroom Kingdom seems to always be in extreme danger of disaster. But fortunately for the kingdom, a paper-thin savior is always on call to protect them from any rocky situations. And as we all know, paper beats rock. Paper Mario is the kingdom's resident Italian plumber, set on doing everything in his power to fight the good fight and protect those in danger. As his name suggests, Paper Mario and his entire world are made purely out of paper and cardboard. Although there's a good argument to be made that this Paper Mario is one and the same as his three-dimensional counterpart, for the purposes of today's battle, we're going to be confining him to just the mainline Paper Mario games. At his core, Mario is a kind-hearted, brave guy who just wants to do the right thing and have some quality time with his favorite princess. Unfortunately for Mario though, his entire life seems cursed to never allow him to take that luxury. Take, for example, at the start of his adventuring career, when Princess Peach invited him over for a party and asked for some one-on-one time to talk. And as a guy whose first kiss was over a game of Mario Kart, I can tell you firsthand that things were finally going his way. That is, until the entire castle was ripped out of the ground, Mario was assaulted by a supercharged Bowser, hit with fire, struck by lightning, and then knocked out of the floating castle. Whew, that's rough, buddy. But Bowser wasn't just there to be a third wheel. He came to steal the Star Rod, an ancient artifact which was said to contain the 7 star spirits. These 7 spirits were rumored to be ancient beings who could grant wishes upon shooting stars. But by harnessing their power, one could make wishes on the fly. Unfortunately for Bowser though, they would only grant innocent, non-corrupt wishes, so there was no wishing to destroy his enemies or ruling the world. So Bowser ended up turning each of these 7 star spirits into playing cards, and gave them for safekeeping to the people I would trust least in this world, his minions. Down but not out, Mario set off to rescue the princess, save the 7 star spirits, and take Bowser down. He started off with very little, but didn't stay that way for long. As Mario's adventures became more and more complex and numerous, so did his arsenal. To augment his tried and true martial art of jumping on the enemy's head, Mario acquired a battle hammer, which became one of his favorite things to use in a fight. After going through a couple of iterations and upgrades, the hammer has had multiple powerful forms, but the strongest is likely the Ultra Hammer. This mallet is capable of shattering massive blocks, much larger than Mario himself. but its primary purpose is to whack enemies on the head. Like any good RPG character, Mario has several items that he can use to add special effects to his combat. The piercing blow badge, for example, can totally bypass an enemy's durability, allowing him to even hurt the tankiest enemies with very little struggle. But should a struggle ensue, Mario can also return any damage that he takes back on the attacker at full force with a combination of the return postage badge, the spite pouch, and the double pain badge. This defensive combo acts as a mutually assured destruction measure. Even if Mario is killed by an enemy's attack, the damage is still returned to the attacker. Not to mention that Mario could just come right back with one of his many revive items. When this is coupled with some items to even further enhance Mario's strength and durability, he becomes a true threat for even the strongest of foes. All of this power isn't without necessity though. Paper Mario went on to fight and beat foes far beyond your run-of-the-mill Bowser encounter, like Count Bleck, a dapper, ghost-like villain who used the power of the infamous Chaos Heart to create a massively destructive void capable of consuming universes, which somehow Mario was able to withstand. Even if we can't get exact numbers on what happens if a dimension is eaten, it still looks dang impressive. Mario also went toe-to-toe against Dimencio, the big bad evil guy from Super Paper Mario, who tried to take Count Bleck's destruction even further. Mario has beat down bad guy after bad guy, slowly adding to his ever-growing rogues gallery. Thankfully, as the villain got more and more dangerous, so too did Mario's arsenal. He carries the 7 Star Spirits with him as summonable allies that can do anything from healing Mario to paralyzing his enemies or transmuting them into tiny stars to take them out of the fight entirely. But by using all 7 spirits at the same time, Mario can summon forth the Star Beam, a massive beam of light that nullifies the enemy's status buffs, but most useful of all, looks dang stylish. But to talk about Mario's truest power, we need to get weird. Early on in his adventures, he was cursed with the ability to shapeshift and fold himself up into several new forms, such as a working boat or a functioning airplane. That's a very helpful curse right there. But if that wasn't enough for you, Mario can also summon bizarre objects to assist him in combat, ranging from mundane things like scissors or a pot of water to outright bizarre things like a giant goat head or a breakdancing turkey, or even a massive fan capable of doing this. Even with a planet made of nothing but solid paper, reversing a planet's rotation and spinning it like a Beyblade is an incredibly impressive feat. And even Mario's more normal objects, like scissors, are a force to be threatened with. These scissors were able to cut 733 times in a single second, and when this is paired with Mario's ability to dodge lightning, his speed is sure to get the drop on anyone who underestimates him. I could keep listing off more powers and abilities, but it seems like with each new one we find, 2 more pop up in its place. For example, Mario can crush 3-dimensional objects into 2-dimensional playing cards, absorb paint to increase his power, shoot paint out of his hammer to make invisible objects become visible, summon castles from the sky to crush his enemies, do stylish showtime attacks cutting across the screen, or summon fairy-like allies called pixels to help him in battle. And his list of abilities just keep going. I could talk about these different powers all day, but my point is that at the end of the day, Mario's combat style is all about versatility. Paper Mario is an incredibly unpredictable combatant, a wild card if you will. While he very well could just attack an enemy with a simple hammer swing, he's just as likely to stop time, style on you with a giant breakdancing turkey, eat a cake mid-battle to heal, and then finish it all off by dropping a castle on your head or reversing the rotation of the planet. In spite of all of this though, what makes Mario a compelling character isn't his versatility or bizarre nature. What keeps people coming back to the series is that Mario is just an innocent dude who wants to do right, and he'd sacrifice his own well-being if it means protecting those that he cares about. And when this is mixed with an innovative and addictive RPG gameplay style, Paper Mario has folded himself into the childhoods of millions across the globe. But now that our fighters have been analyzed, it's time for our fight. If you'd like to see early works in progress or help keep our series alive, consider checking us out on Patreon or YouTube membership. Each video takes us well over 200 hours to make as a team, and ad revenue is hard to sustain on a series that takes so long to create, so your support really helps us keep going. With all that in place though, let's take a look at the fight and see who will take the crown in this round of Crossover Colosseum.
Oh yeah! Now I got everything I need. Whoa! Yo, Fatso, watch your stash! Ugh. And safe and sound. Safe from red-wearing, stash-sporting punks like this guy. Speaking of which, where'd you come from? You're lucky none of the ingredients got trashed. That would have been, huh? Way past uncool, bro! You just ruffled the quills of the wrong hog! Is this stuff coming out of you? Where'd you find a... Whoa, turkey! Talk about foul play. Really, violins and scissors? Alright, hold on to your hat. I'm more of a cello guy. I'll take that. Sorry, pal, not going to cut it. And time in. No, I hate to even run, but this is going nowhere fair. Big mistake! Huh? Beams of light? You're gonna have to go faster than that! You ruined my signature recipe, wrecked my kitchen, and ate my chili dog! It's time for you to go home! No! No! You're a danger to my world and my friends! This will silence you! Sayonara, loose-leaf loser.
And there you go! Now the team went back and forth debating on this one for a while. If you just look at the stat sheets of each character, it creates an interesting dynamic. Because we treated each era of Archie Sonic equally, he had a massive speed advantage, even if you account for outliers. Like, it isn't even close. That said, Paper Mario more than made up for it with a huge lead in attack power and durability. Not only was he shattering blocks like they were nothing, but that fan attack that spun the planet was coming in at an intensity of 3310 megawatts. To put a visual to that number, that would be like condensing the energy to destroy our entire planet 100,000 times over into every single square centimeter across your body. This is far more than even Super Sonic had ever endured. Mario could also bypass any durability that Sonic has, stop time, and had a variety of ways to instantly take Sonic out of the fight through transmutation. Mario also had a massive strategy advantage. Sonic is fast, but his strategy really just consists of taunt and spin dash. So while Sonic had the pure numbers to blitz Mario at the start of the fight, any Sonic fan could tell you that he would never ever do that to open up a fight. This isn't normally a big factor in Sonic's fights because he's so used to being able to use his speed to make up for his poor strategy. But against a character as unpredictable as Paper Mario, even a 2-second dad joke could be the difference between victory and getting turned into a playing card. So as you can see, Paper Mario definitely had his share of advantages. So why didn't he take the fight? Well, it's not that simple. In order for Sonic to take the victory, he would need to realize that Paper Mario is a serious threat that he can't toy around with at all before Mario took him out with a single attack. This sounds like a tall order until you take into account the speed at which Gag Sonic sees the world. Sonic's speed would almost certainly prompt a time stop from Paper Mario, and unless Mario capitalized perfectly on this opening, Sonic would have been able to come back from the time stop with a clearer picture of how threatening Paper Mario really is. And if Sonic was going all out, Paper Mario would just never be able to catch him. Sonic could even just casually travel the planet looking for enough rings to turn into Ultrasonic and banish Mario to the Zone of Silence before Mario could even blink. And while it isn't clear whether or not the Zone of Silence would kill Paper Mario, it would definitely take him out of the fight for long enough for this to be a victory for Sonic. Honestly, even as I write this script, I just can't get over how close of a fight this is. The only way that a person could honestly say that there's only one definitive winner in this fight is if you treat the characters like stat sheets and ignore their personality, which would be a major disservice and disrespect to both characters. I think a lot of who wins comes down to which version of Archie Sonic you're using. If you're taking Gag Sonic, he would likely take it nearly every time with his blinding speed and painful puns. But if you look at the more balanced speeds of Tryhard Sonic or Modern Sonic, Paper Mario takes it more often than not. But at the end of the day, we believed as a team that a composited version of Archie Sonic would just be way too fast for Paper Mario to handle. Sonic the Hedgehog is the winner and takes the crown in this match of Crossover Colosseum. Next time on Crossover Colosseum.